from Ludlow's Repair Cafe a little earlier on about taking things that are broken and making them work again, fixing them. What if you could take an item that's seen better days and not just repair it, but improve it to the point of transforming it? That's what Vanessa D does. She's from Condover Furniture. She takes older pieces of furniture and turns them into something very different. Vanessa, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Hey Jim, thanks for having me on.
How did you start doing this?
I actually had a lot of furniture that was beautiful, but I had from a previous house, and when I moved into the current house, it was a different background. It was oak everywhere, so I decided rather than throwing it away, there's nothing wrong with it, I would try and change it in some way.
Tell me how you change the furniture that you work on, because it's quite a transformation in some cases, isn't it? Yes.
If it's completely damaged, then obviously I do have to paint it. I try and leave as much wood exposed as possible. It always starts with cleaning it, mending it. Some things need gluing, some things are broken. So I just put it together again, sand it off. I try and make it the best I possibly can to impress, rather than, because a lot of people, I think now it's changing, people's attitudes with upcycling, but a while ago when I was starting, people were kind of sneering at the idea. So I was trying to turn it into something absolutely beautiful. So using the best products you can get on the market, making it all environmentally friendly, because I know that's what people are wanting. So generally I paint it, wax it, and embellish it with glass.
The glass embellishment is the key thing, isn't it? Just and explain about how you do that.
Well, two ways. I started off when I initially started doing it. I contacted a glass house a glass designer maker in Italy, in Venice, and I started embellishing it with knobs from there to make each piece individual to the person who buys the furniture. Then I started looking locally for glass designers in the UK who could help. And when I approached one, I said I didn't want knobs. I wanted something that is unique. So we took glass pieces and we experimented. We burnt a few pieces of furniture to give a burnt effect on them, which sounds odd. It actually looked fine, but lovely. And then other pieces we put the glass in. I took glass from the oven, and once it's cooled off, they're like pebbles. So you take a plate, smash it, make these pebbles, they get rounded off, and then I route them in. So they can either form a pattern on the top, on the sides, on the front. It's been quite popular, actually.
What have people said? What have people said about them? About your work?
They're very impressed. They say they didn't realise upcycling could be this good. Which is obviously lovely to hear.
Yeah.
They like the fact that it's very individual to them, whereas particularly with a lot of the younger generations are saying they want to be unique, whereas when I grew up we all wanted to conform and everyone wore the same. Now people are wanting to be more unique and they don't want the same piece of furniture that their friend has.
Yeah, quite.
So, I mean, obviously there are still people who are buying that sort of stuff, but a lot of people are now wanting something unique. So, like, for example, I did a desk with the glass on the top, and a jeweller bought it. And she said she loves just looking at the pebbles while she's making the jewellery. Someone wanted it on the front, so that on the drawers in a pattern, so they loved it that way. But it's not all glass enhanced. I mean, a lot of it isn't. The pieces I've sold this week, for example, have just had china knobs, but they're very distinct. They're unique to them, essentially.
Yeah. Do you think people, from what you're saying, it sounds like people used to think upcycling was it was either making the best of a bad job, or it had a kind of amateurish feel to it, that it wasn't going to be that it wasn't going to be of the highest quality, and that's something that you're trying to disprove.
Yes, I can actually embellish quite a lot on this. I think there are a lot of people who don't realise how hard it is, and then they're trying it, and it's ending up back in the tip, which is actually defeating the whole object of the exercise. There are a lot of people now offering lessons nationwide, which is great, because then it will help them, and it will help the whole cause. And there's actually an umbrella organisation called the House of Upcycling, which is it covers the whole of the UK and Ireland. It's an independent authority on professional upcycling for interiors. So that is a whole group of professional upcyclers in the UK. There's about 100, just over 100 of them, and there's a leader, Chris Billinghurst, who contacts the newspapers, interior designers, design schools, and slowly, the professional upcyclers are infiltrating into the interiors world and into people's homes, and now individual people aspiring to have that in their home and doing it themselves. So it's all becoming circular, and I encourage people to go out and learn. In fact, I was thinking of actually offering lessons, not just on the glass, but on the upcycling itself.
And from what we've been hearing about how people have been looking for things to do and finding things to do over the last 6 or 7 months, I would imagine that there are quite a few people who are looking at tired old furniture, thinking, I'd like a real expert advice on how I can make the most of this. Yes,
it's very therapeutic. It's very, very therapeutic. Just turning on the radio, sanding it down, getting into the groove. The fact that you're creating something better than it was, it's wonderful. I think I think you should encourage all people to try and do it. Don't just choose the paint off the shelf in your local hardware store. I mean, do look at different options, because if you want it to last in your house and you want it to be something you enjoy,